This is the Sorbello stitch, working with one strand of the red. This stitch is actually very simple. There's not very much room to hide a thread in the petal here, so I came out. So I put a waist knot here. Then I took a very tiny 1/1 thread back stitch. So it'll be covered nicely, but that little back stitch just sort of guarantees me that nothing's going to come out. Come out at your first stitch, which is the top of the leaf. Go down and make a straight stitch. Now this one you can work with in a hoop. You can do it in hand, or you can use it on your roller bars. You just need to, because it's a poke and pull. Come straight down, diagonal 2 threads, again add a vertical thread. Now we're going to make a blanket stitch. Come under that top thread, keep everything taut, and just make a blanket stitch. You're on the left side of the blanket stitch, like always, and make another blanket stitch, making sure that you go completely under your one strand silk. Okay, there we go. And make another blanket stitch. Okay, now just come down as if you were completing an X, and voila, the Sorbello stitch. It's a cross stitch with a little knot in it. Now I always work my Sorbello stitch left to right. Left-handers can do it right to left, of course. You can work it right to left, and but I like things the same way, so I get the same result. Now, as I told you in the instructions, that if your next stitch happens to be, and I've got a knot on my back, I got my extra yellow there. If your next stitch is diagonal, you can't come out at this left stitch. So that's the time that you take that little tiny tack stitch right there, which will be hidden if the next stitch is a diagonal. Complete it, make another one. Now see, I haven't made it so tight that I can't come under it easily. Now the one thing you want to make sure when you do this, that you don't want to make holes in your fabric. So don't pull it so tight that you're going to make a hole. Just pull it so that it makes a nice little knot and come down. Finish the X. At this time, I'm going to cut my knot away because it is definitely getting in my way with that little extra tuft there. Don't make a tuft. Not fun here. Here's the needle. Take it to the back. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to finish another one. So you have 3 at the top of the petal. And then you have 1 over close to the one away from that part of the petal. Now you can see that I always work in a line. You can go all over the place if you want. Just make sure that you always work it in the same manner. Now this one is right touching a cross stitch, so you want to be very careful that you don't get any part of that cross stitch. And after you do the first one, it's easier because you've pulled it down a little bit. Now for my next row, I'm going to come all the way over and just drag my thread over. Just drag my thread over. Okay, just drag it over. Okay, so there you are. Just continue on. I end my thread off within this, or you can go under if your fabric is close enough woven, you know, and so it won't show, because this is a very strong color. You can end it off and start a new thread, or you can drag it over. I'd go down here first, because this is where you're going to be. Just drag it over and start and work on this area. Okay?